Hello everybody and welcome to a new video. In today's video we are going to talk about the 6 books that I read in July. I can't believe it's like July is over, that's crazy to me. I have 2 mini books over here because I don't have the physical copies. So yeah, let's talk about all of the books that I read. I first of all started reading Girls Like Girls by Hayley Kiyoko at the very beginning of this month, and this book is about a girl named Coley. Sorry, it's been a minute since I read this. It feels like I read this book a year ago. I don't know, so much stuff was happening in July, it was crazy. So yeah, this follows a girl named Coley, and she's just moved in with her dad, who she never had contact with before, but her mom died, so that's kind of the situation, and she is queer, and you know, it's kind of like self-discovery and falling in love and all of that jazz. So yeah, I think this was a very sweet story. I really enjoyed the writing. I think it felt kind of literary-esque to me. I don't really know why, but you really like followed her as a character and how she made new friends and all of that stuff, so I really like that. I would definitely check trigger warnings for this one because there are some like heavier topics being discussed. Really like this one. Definitely a very fun summer read as well because it's set during like the summer holiday. So yeah, I really like this one. Also small town vibes, and they go to a lake and it's just very fun times, and I really loved the vibe of it as well. Next up, I read The Storied Life of A.J. Fikry. I made these little mini books for books that I don't have a physical copy of right now, so that I can still display them in my bookshelf. And I actually have a physical copy of The Storied Life of A.J. Fikry, but that's with my sister, so because I was like, you have to read this, it was so amazing. So yeah, let's get into it. So The Storied Life of A.J. Fikry by Gabrielle Zevin, who's the author of Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. Maybe you heard about that one, that's pretty popular. It's basically, that is definitely a literary fiction book, and it basically follows this bookstore owner, A.J. Fikry, and something weird kind of happens to him because he like owns a bookstore, and suddenly one day there is this baby in his bookstore, and there's like a letter that's like, yeah, take care of it, sorry, and stuff like that, but it's not like, he doesn't know the person who the baby is from and anything like that, so he basically just raises this girl, and it's a very sweet story. It also has a little bit of romance sprinkled in, and what I really loved about this book is that you not just follow A.J. Fikry as a character, but you also like get the point of view from like different perspectives. So you get like one of his friends and also of the child and some other people, and I really liked that. I thought this was a very excellent book. This is a 5-star for me. Just the writing and the bookstore vibe, the way that AJ compared certain things in life to books just was so fun to me, and I really enjoyed that one. I also audiobooked Camp Rainbow by Alicia Z, and this is actually a German book, which I typically only read English books, and especially only books in English, because for some reason I do not like German books. If you don't know, I live in Germany, so yeah, but I don't normally read German books unless I'm forced to for my German class. So I picked this one up because I thought that the description sounded very cute. So we follow this main character, and she goes to a summer camp that is called Camp Rainbow, and it's basically just a camp for queer kids who just want to chill during the summer, and it's a very fun book. It is a very fun story just about how she becomes more confident in herself, I feel like, and like more true to herself. She also has a few friends there, and to see like their friendship, and there's obviously also romance. So yeah, I really liked this one. It was super sweet and just very cutesy and fun, and I also loved that it was set in the Alps, and I was in the Alps while I read this, so that was really fun. Also loved that it was a summer camp because I am like the biggest fan of summer camp. I used to go to summer camp every single year since I was 5, so I loved that setting as well, and it was just a very cutesy and fun story. And next up we have Problematic Summer Romance by Ali Hazelwood. I read this when I was in Tallinn with my dad, and I love Ali Hazelwood as an author. I think her writing is really fun. I read 2 books by her so far, but I rated them like very highly. So this was a little bit of a disappointment to me, but not because of her writing or anything. I loved her writing and I really enjoyed it, but this is an age gap romance, and I think it's very clear that I do not like age gap romance because it just felt very weird to me. So basically the story is about Maya, and her brother is getting married, and they like celebrate the wedding somewhere in the south of Italy, and that was like the best setting. Like setting wise, this book was so amazing. I loved the wedding, and there was a bunch of stuff happening, and everything was like going wrong, and it was super fun. Maya has a huge crush on her brother's best friend, and she has had that crush for a while, and it's also a little bit of second chance, but not really. But it's basically like they have a history, and he's like 15 years older than her. Not really sure if I like that. And it felt very weird to me because like every single time they were like talking, he was always like, no, you know, this can't happen, I'm too old, and blah blah blah, and she was always like, yeah, but I'm an adult, and it felt like he didn't respect her in that way, and that really annoyed me for some reason. I don't know. The romance, I was not feeling it. I really liked Maya as a main character. I thought she was a fun character, and I also liked the whole wedding and the setting, but just the romance was off for me, I don't know, which is a little bit sad because it's a romance book. If you don't have anything against age gap, I think you could like this, but I just don't like age gap, so that's probably why. Speaking of age gap, I next up read A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. That was a very fun joke, you know, because in fantasy books the age gap is not 15 years, the age gap will be 100 years or 900 years, something like that. But that's different, you know, because they're fae, so it doesn't count. Make it make sense, I know. Before I start reading this book, I'm going to tell you what this is about. So basically, this book follows Feyre, and she lives quite poorly with her family because they lost all of their fortune, and she goes to hunt in the woods every day because she needs to feed her family. And she's actually the youngest in the family. She's like, I think she was 19, but nobody in her family really feels responsible for doing that, and her father has like a broken leg. Basically, she kills a wolf, but it's not a normal wolf, and then she's kind of taken into the fairyland by a high fae lord, and she lives there. I'm kind of scared to review this book because I know that this is like one of the most hyped up and loved fantasy series ever. Like, this is like book talk at its peak, you know what I mean? I did not like it so much. I feel bad saying that because I have read another series by this author, and that was like one of the best fantasy series I've ever read. Probably the best fantasy series I've ever read. The Throne of Glass series. I love that one to bits. But something about this just, I don't know, I just didn't connect to the characters or something. And the first half of the book felt super boring to me because nothing was happening. We were only getting like the smallest bits and pieces. She was just chilling in the mansion of her captor basically, and I was not feeling it. I was like, okay, when will stuff happen? Because I kind of expected there to be a lot more high stakes. Towards the second half it got interesting, or maybe it was just the last third, I don't know. But then stuff was happening and I really enjoyed that, And I heard that like especially the second and third book are like people's favorite books. I'm feeling like maybe I just have to push through and read the next few books, but I'm not sure because I don't know. It's kind of, I'm a little bit torn apart because I want to like it, but I wasn't really feeling it that much. So yeah, that's my book review for this one. I was basically just ranting. I'm really sorry about that. Let me know if it gets better or if I should just continue reading the series, or if it's not worth it. Let me know your thoughts because I'm not sure how I feel about it. I decided to pick up A Curse for True Love, which is the third book in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series by Stephanie Garber. And I read the first two books of this at the beginning of the year and I absolutely loved them. I thought they were so fun, and just all of the vibes and the characters and the setting, it was all so amazing. So I decided to pick this up again and it was so amazing. I'm so glad that I finished the series because it is like such an amazing fantasy series. Basically, I mean, it's kind of hard to explain what this book is about because then I would spoil everything from the previous two books, but this series follows a girl named Evangeline and she makes a deal with a fate. That's like the first book, so I'm just going to give you that so that I don't spoil you. But yeah, she makes a deal with a fate, who are like these higher beings, immortal, with a little bit of magical powers. And that's all you need to know. There's romance, especially in this book. It was so good. Ah, I can't. Also, like, some of the quotes, as you can tell, this is a 5-star as well. Also audiobook this kind of a little bit, like every now and then, because I was like crocheting or something, so I just put this on as an audiobook. It's actually free on Spotify, so if you want to listen to this series, I would highly recommend. I really loved the audiobook for this one as well. And yeah, those were all of the books that I read in the month of July. It was such a good reading month. If you read any of these, definitely let me know your thoughts below in the comments. So yeah, that is going to be it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed watching my little July reading wrap up. If you did, maybe like, comment or subscribe. And I will hopefully see you in the next one. Bye!